Text messaging is commonplace pretty much everywhere you turn. Unfortunately, this seems to be an everyday activity among drivers. In 2011, a law prohibiting texting while driving was passed in North Dakota, making it illegal for anyone operating a motor vehicle to access or send electronic data, and if caught, would be fined $100. In an effort to curtail this problem, the North Dakota Department of Transportation provided funding for texting and driving enforcement to 7 law enforcement agencies across the state. This is the first time funding has been allocated for this specific purpose. The Bismarck Police Department was one of the recipients of these funds, and they used the money to conduct a specialized texting and driving saturation by putting plainclothes officers in unmarked vehicles on the streets to catch unsuspecting motorists who text and drive. Not only is it illegal to text and drive in North Dakota, it's very dangerous, says Sergeant Tim Krause of the Bismarck Police Department.
Well, I think a lot of crashes, injury-related crashes, come from texting and driving. A lot of rear-end crashes come from it. I think if we can get it out there to not text and drive, I think a lot of our crash numbers and injury crash numbers will drop dramatically.
According to statistics, a texting driver is 23 times more likely to crash than an undistracted driver and 6 times more likely to be in a collision than a drunk driver. The goal of this crackdown is to prevent deaths and injuries on North Dakota's roads. When it comes to texting and driving while behind the wheel, Krause said there does not seem to be a specific demographic.
Runs the whole gamut, I guess, from young to old. Ages doesn't really matter with this. Everyone seems to be doing it.
What's that?
Although it can be a little difficult to enforce this law, Krause said there are certain behaviors that make it pretty apparent a driver is texting.
Typically you look for the signs like erratic driving, or if they have an extended amount of time of looking down, which is kind of odd for a driver. A driver typically looks at where they're going. A lot of times if they're looking down a lot and you can see hands going down below the steering wheel, typically they're texting someone.
Although multiple tickets were issued during this campaign, the main purpose of this effort was to raise awareness about the dangers of texting and driving and hopefully make a positive influence on driver behavior.